Hello everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to be doing a little proof of concept video on some of the features for Unfathomable Frontiers, a Weird Western style tabletop RPG that me and some of my friends are working on. This is going to be an interesting one because for the most part the game revolves around using a deck of playing cards rather than dice, with a few exceptions like where combat damage comes into play, but we'll get to that in a minute here. So for this video, we're just going to be focusing on how skill checks typically work and a little bit on how combat runs. So, Unfathomable Frontiers has 6 distinct statistics that you have to keep track of. You've got reflexes, accuracy, strange, which involves any kind of magic that you're using, ingenuity, backbone, and allure. For the purposes of this video, we're just going to focus on strange and accuracy as examples. So here you can see a very quick overview of what this character's character sheet might look like and how their skills are currently set up. For this first roll, we are going to be doing a strange check against a target of 15. So this game runs a little like blackjack, where you are trying to either meet or get just below whatever the target number is. You want to be within 3 of whatever your target is without going over. So here the target is 15. You can draw as many cards from the communal deck as you want, but if you bust, the entire check is a failure. Likewise, if you end up more than 3 below your target number, then you fail the check. So here we're going to draw. We get an ace, which can be a 1 or an 11, a 7, so we've got 8 or 18. An 18 would bust, so we're going to stick with an 8 on this one, and a 6 for a 14, which is just 1 below the 15 that we needed, so it is a success. Next, we have a target of 22. So we're going to draw a 9, a 4, and a queen, which is going to count for 10, so we're at 23, which is a bust and a failed check. However, since it's still within 3 of the target number, this is considered a pretty minimal failure. Still a failure, but nothing too terrible. Next, our target is going to be 20. And we wind up drawing 2 10s, hitting the target exactly for a critical success. Moving on, we've got a target of 13. We draw a queen and an 8 for 18. So this would typically bust, however, this is where your actual statistic levels come into play. Every 5 levels, you check off another one of those pips underneath each statistic. So, in this case, we have 1 pip checked off for a very low strange score, and each of those pips represents 1 replacement you can make during a check. So we are going to use our 1 replacement to get rid of that 8 and draw a new card. You have to take whatever the new card is, but in this case it ends up being a 2 for 12, a success against that target 13 that we're... Targets can also be set much higher than this. Here we have a target 30 strange check. While the player only has level 2 strange and only gets that 1 replacement, with a little luck you can still come out on top in cases like this. Since this game utilizes a typical playing card deck, there are also going to be 2 jokers in the deck. 1 positive, 1 negative. When you start playing, I would suggest setting either red or black joker to be an auto success whenever it's drawn, while the other one becomes an auto failure. In combat, you draw against a target's resilience, hitting them if your draw beats their resilience value. You may draw as many cards as pips you have marked off below your accuracy statistic. An extra pip is marked off for every 5 points you put into a statistic, so in this case the character has an accuracy of 5, giving them 2 pips and thus 2 draws. They need to beat a 12 resilience. With a 13, their shot hits and they deal damage using their Faustic revolver, rolling 3d6 to deal 10 damage. This time, the player fires at an enemy with 15 resilience. Drawing 17, they hit and fire the Faustic revolver once more, rolling max damage on one of their dice. This allows them to re-roll it and add the new total to the damage dealt. 14 plus an additional 2 from that reroll gives them 16 damage. can keep re-rolling until you get a number below whatever the max of the die is. So if you just keep rolling 6s, that'll just keep growing exponentially.